pilot accidentally drops her compass from the top of a 400-foot cliff. The height h of the compass after t seconds is given by the quadratic equation h equals negative 16t squared plus 400. Okay, that's important. When will the compass hit the ground? Okay, so these kinds of problems are pretty common. You basically have a cliff and something falls off of it and hits the ground. Okay, so here's the ground. Whoops, it's the ground. In this case, the compass. Here's the deal. You want it when you think of height. The height is the distance from the ground. Okay, so this distance here is h. So when it hits the ground, the height, right, it's hitting the ground. The height is the distance off the ground. So when it hits the ground, the height is 0. The height is 0. Okay, that's a key component to these kinds of problems. So we put in 0 for h here because it's hitting the ground, and then we still have the equation for height to see how long it takes. Okay, so anytime it says how long, or when, okay, so when the question says when or how long, that means we're solving for t. Okay, and that's also evident here by setting h equal to 0, compass is hitting the ground, we're solving for time. Okay, well, let's do that. I think it's a good idea to always have a positive leading coefficient here. So I'm going to factor, how about this? Let's just multiply both sides by -1. All right, doing that, since we just have 0 on one side, we can get away with this. This gives us 0 equals 16t squared minus 400. Okay, there's a bunch of ways you could have gotten the same result. You could have just factored out a -1 and then divided it away. There's a lot of things you can do. Also, we need to factor out a greatest common factor. We don't have to, but it's going to make this problem a lot easier. Anytime you want to factor something, the first thing you should always think of is, can I factor out a GCF? In this case, we can, because 16 happens to evenly divide 400. Okay, so I'm going to factor 16 out to the front. T squared minus 25 happens to be 25. And since this is just a number, we can basically, you think of this as getting rid of it. Technically, we divide both sides by 16. You wouldn't want to do this with a variable, but with a number, you just kind of toss it out. It's out the front like this. T squared minus 25. Okay, well now we have the difference of squares. Remember, a squared minus b squared factors as a plus b, a minus b. All right, that's something you should have internalized. So here we go, 0 equals t plus 5 and t minus 5. Okay, setting each one of those equal to 0 and solving, t equals -5 here, t equals 5 there. Okay, well, we're not going backwards in time, though if you study enough physics and math, you do eventually do problems like that. But here we go, let's just keep it positive. The time is 5 seconds. Are we working in seconds? I'm going back up to the problem after t seconds. Yep, so this is in seconds. It takes 5 seconds for that compass to hit the ground. Compass probably didn't survive.